Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to MTech Viral, and in this video we are going to make a basic calculator in Flutter, but it will be fun for sure. And I'm creating this calculator for the first time in Flutter, so we both are on the same level. So let's start with creating this tutorial. And one more thing is that dogs are barking outside my home, so there can be some background noise regarding that, so please just ignore that and focus on this video. So let's start by creating a folder. So I am going with the VS Code editor, and you can use any editor you want. So let's just take a look here at the terminal, and what I will do, I will go to my desktop, and here I will go to my Dart folder, and here I can move to my mobile folder. Then I will create a project here, Flutter create calculator app, let's say. Okay, and it will create an app for me. So it is doing some work in the background, and so I am using Visual Studio Code. You can use IntelliJ, you can use Android Studio, you can use any text editor, but I guess all the text editor would not have this Dart code extension which is available in the Visual Studio Code. Let me show you once. So here we will go to the extensions, and here I can see Dart code. So this is the extension I am talking about. And in the last video someone told me that I should increase my font size, so let's just do it. So here we have this font size as 20 already, but let's make it 22. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so we have created this calculator app. Okay, now let's open this in this Visual Studio Code. So we have this calculator app here. Let's open it, and we have this app now open, and we have this main.app here. It has some content. Let's try to run this, and what I will do, I will open my simulator first for running iOS. Why I'm using iOS not Android is because it takes less memory, and it otherwise Android emulator will take lot of memory, and it will start start my fans of my laptop. So that will be little panic, but whatever I am creating, it will work similarly on both the platforms. Either you can use iOS or you can use Android. So here I have this iPhone 8 Plus. Let's change it to iPhone 10 because it just looks nice. Okay, so let's close this iPhone. Which iPhone? 8 Plus. Okay. Oh, we are talking about iPhones, sorry. So what we can do here, let's just minimize it little bit, and we can use here this this is not even, oh my god, this is not moving. What can I do here? Oh, this is now moved. So we have this iPhone on the right hand side. Let's leave it like this. Now let's run our Flutter app. How we did do that, like we can write here Flutter run. Okay, so it will run our application, and we are about to delete all this code, so you don't have to really worry about this code. And if you want to watch the in-depth tutorial of my Flutter, then you can go to my channel's playlist of Flutter, and I will paste the card here, so you can go to that card. So this is our screen, and if I will press this plus icon, so there is some operation performing here, and this kind of operation is what we are about to do, but we will make a calculator. So let's just clean this code. And now what we will do, first of all, we will import package flutter / material.dart. okay, now what we will do, we will call the main function, which is the entry point for the application. And here this is the lambda expressions which we use to create one-liner functions, anonymous functions you can say, or methods. So here I will pass new my app class. Okay, this class is not yet exist, so we will create this class. So let's say class my app which extends stateless widget, and I'll try to upload this code on GitHub, and you can find the link in the description so that you can have an idea about how this app looks like, and how this code works, or you can just copy and paste the code, or you can clone the repository. So we have this stateless widget which is the my app class, and now we need to override some functions, or one function only, which returns widget, and the name of the function is build, and we need to pass the build context in the parameter. So this is our function, and here what we can do, we can return new material, and when we code in the Dart2, then we don't even need to use this return and this new keyword, because that is the feature of Dart2. So that is still in preview, but we will use that later. So let's for the time being, let's use this new keyword to create a new instance of the class. So we have a container. Oh, let's not use container widget, let's use the material app widget, because it will give us the material app with all the functionalities of a material app. So what kind of functionality it can give us? Basically it will have a title. So let's say calculator app, which we don't actually want this title, but just for okay. So new theme data we can say, and here we can pass the primary swatch to which color you want, tell me. So we will go with red color maybe. Okay, so let's just refresh it and see whether it works or not. Oh, it does not work because it does not have anything, maybe that's why. So let's add its home, and we can say new let's say home page. Okay, and we don't have this home page till now, so let's create this as well. And we don't need to create here, we can make another class here. Let's say home underscore page dot dart. Okay, now here we can import this package, import home page dot dart. Okay, so this is fine, and now we need to import the material library here as well, and here we can make a class home page, okay, which extends stateful widget, because we will do some state changes here. So now we need to override some methods here, so that will be create state and this method will give me new home page state. This is also a class which we will create. So this is what we have to do for the time being, and yeah, that's it. So this is our home page class, which extends a stateful widget. Stateful widgets, we can see that state is an information that can be read synchronously when the widget is built. So basically stateful widgets are used when we need to update the widget again and again, and using some set of data. So then we use stateful widget, and we need to have a state class for that, and we will make another class which is homepage state, and it will extend the state class, and we will pass here this home page. Okay, so the generic will be the home page, and oh, we don't have to write this. Okay, now it will override the same widget build context. Okay, so this is what we have to do till now. Now here we can do return, oh shit. So here what we will do, we will return new scaffold. Okay, scaffold is basically used uh, for giving a structure where it has some predefined structure for a material app, so that is what it gives. So we can have a app bar, so we will say new app bar. Here we can have title of the app bar, so let's say it, so it will be new text, and here we can say calculator. Okay, and it can have some bottom displays, etc, etc. There's a lot of stuff, we don't need anything. Okay, below the app bar we will have the body, so let's say the body, and the body can be another widget. Let's say it will be a new container. Okay, and here in the container, let's say its child as new center, and we can say its child as new text calculator app. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Now let's run this to test, and here you can see we have this app bar calculator and we have this text calculator app. Okay, so what we will do here, rather than this, we can have a column here. So let's say new column. Okay, and or we don't need this center either, so let's just delete it, and let's say its child is new column. Okay, so here in the column we can have few elements, like we can have two text fields. So let's say one is, so we need to define the children here because it will take a list. So we have a list of children here, so first one will be new text field. Okay, and this text field will take it is a type of, what we can say here, let's make it keyboard type is equal to input type, text input type dot, we will have a number. Okay, so because we want to do some multiplication only, so we'll take a number only, and here we can say style, or we can say decoration. Yeah, decoration is new input text input decoration, right? Decoration, what it takes, let's see, it's text input decoration, so we will say new input decoration, and here we can say hint text. Okay, so hint text would be what, now we don't need hint text, right? So enter number one, let's say this. Okay, now let's copy this exactly and paste it again. Okay, let's run this app, hot reload it to see, oh, we have two numbers, this is looking very beautiful. Now we want it to on the center, let's say, so we will say main axis alignment dot center. Let's give it a padding also, so we will say const as insects dot all, and from all side we will give a padding like 20.0. let's reload it again, and it is looking much better than earlier. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, so we have this right now. Now let's increase the padding to 40, reload it, and it is decent. Now here below this, let's add another padding, and here the padding will be of constant as insects dot only from top, and from top we will give up 20 padding, let's say, and above it, let's say, oh yeah, this is fine, and below that we will have another row this time, and we can say its main axis alignment as main axis alignment dot center, and we can have again some children's. Here we will have some buttons, so let's say new raised button maybe. Okay, so raised button, we have this raised button, and its child would be this text which says add. Okay, and apart from that it will have a property of this on pressed, where a method will be executed. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Oh, what just happened? Okay, sorry. So we have this on pressed, so here we can say, okay, so we have this on pressed method. Let's copy it a few times at least, and 3 and 4, and we can say add, subtract, multiply, or divide, or we can rather than we should use these symbols, that would look much better. Okay, so we have this. Now let's just reload it. Oh, this is not looking good, because this is saying that this should be under another widget. So let's say this is under a new widget which is expanded. Okay, so that it can work properly. Let's, oh, this gave me another unexpected result, which can be fixed by, so it is taking too much space. What should I do? So we can have two rows, I guess, with two elements, so that it won't give us that pain. So let's just copy this row, entire row. Okay, so that UI should look better now. That's why we are doing this. So we can say multiply, and we can say divide here, and let's refresh it, and we have this screen which is quite good. Now add a padding here as well. Okay, now this looks good. Let's refresh it, and this looks good, quite good. And here also we can give some space, so we can say here let's say main axis. What else we can, oh, so we don't need this padding also, because what I can do apart from this, let's say cross axis alignment. So I will say cross axis alignment dot center. No, I don't need this. I'll say main axis alignment dot space between. Okay, if space evenly, and let's try this. Yeah, it is giving me this space which I want, so space evenly would be better here. And we have these 4 buttons now. Now let's replace this with a material button, so that it should look better rather than this odd button. And this material button is looking good, but it needs something which is color, and its color should be like something light color. So colors dot green accent would be good. What do you say? Let's refresh it once. Oh, this is looking good. Okay, so let's copy this again, and we have replaced this with this material button, because this looks good rather than raised button. I'll make a video on this also, what is the difference between these buttons. We will talk about it. So the UI is almost ready with us. We need one more thing, which is the output, and we can have that output uh, above this text fields. So here we can have a new what you can say it, we want a label. So what we can use for labels, can you tell it? Just a text. Okay, so we can have a text here, and let's say it is named as output. Okay, and what we will do something else. We will add a style here as well, and let's say we have a new text style for this, and here we can say font size would be little big, which can be 20.0, and the color can be, color of the text can be colors dot, let's say purple. Let's try this. I don't know whether it will look good or not, but we can try. So it is the output, and let's make it bold as well. So we can say font weight as font weight dot bold. Okay, now let's move it to the next line. Okay, now let's refresh it, and it looks much better. Okay, so after that we have this output. Yeah, we have this thing as well. So let's just restart it again, and one second, and we can see here we have number, and we can have another number, and let's apply some operation to it. So now we need to make some methods. We have the UI ready already, so let's do one thing. In this state method here, let's perform some operations. Okay, so what we can say here, okay, so let's see, let's say we have a number here, which we can say num1. Okay, we can have a num2 as well. Okay, we can have a sum as well, let's say this. Okay, now what we will say, void do addition. Okay, so I'm just doing what it should be like. Okay, so we will say set state here, set state, or we can say this dot set state. Why it is not working? Oh shit, we don't have to do this here. We should remove this from here. We will go to this particular portion, and we will do the set part here. Okay, so we will say void do addition. We will make a method here, do addition. Okay, here we can say set state, and here in this method we can perform some operations. What we will do, we will take this sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, and that is fine. And what we will do, we are doing in this set state, so let's do one thing here. In this new text output, let's pass sum here. So we can say output is sum. Okay, that is cool. And initially let's give them some value. So sum is 0, num2 is 0, and num1 is also 0. Okay, this is good. So cool. So now we have this sum here, and we have these two text fields. So let me change this to enter number 2. So now we want some predefined values to these fields also. So let me do one thing here. It is variable number 1 is equal to 0, number 2 is equal to 0, and sum is equal to 0. So let's say let's make two text editor controller for these two text fields. So what we can say that final text editing controller T1 is equal to new text editing controller, and here I can say text is by default let's say 0, okay, because it accepts a string, that is why I am giving it a 0 as a string. Okay, now let's make another similar variable which is basically an instance of text editing controller. So we will call it T2, and it is also 0. Okay, now let's pass these controllers to these text fields. So here I will say controller is equal to T1, not equal to basically, and here I can say controller is T2. Okay, so that is fine, and we have this number 1, number 2, and we have the controllers. Now here, while doing this sum, what we want to take this text and then we will assign the num1 and num2 accordingly. So we will say num1 is equal to int dot parse, because we want the int value of what I will get, T1 dot text. Okay, whatever input we will give to this, we will pass here that value, and num2 would be int dot parse T2 dot text. Okay, and because we are in the set state, so whenever these values will update and we will click on this plus button, the values will be updated and our widget will be rebuilt. So that is why we are using this set state. Okay, so it will notify the framework that the internal state of this object has changed. Okay, so this is how we will have these values. And now what we can do, let's restart our application entirely. We don't need hot reload because we are doing some set state changes. So here we are, let's try to enter some number like 5, and here let's write 6, and now click on plus button. So you can see output is 11, and let's change it to 8, and output is 13. So plus is working fine. Let's do it for minus as well. So do subtraction is another method, and we can have do multiplication. So we can write do mul. Okay, just to make it a shorter way to write do div. Okay, and let's call it do sub. Okay, so here what we will do, we will find the difference of them, and we can identify whichever number is big or not. We will see it. How can we do this? And then let's divide it. Okay, so okay, so it is saying that it should be a double. So we can say integer dot parse, and here we can write num1 upon my num2, and what value is giving this me is, let's say what I'm doing here is this, and I will make it to round to int. Okay, so let's see what it will do. So it is saying me that okay, so what it will do, it will truncating the division operator. So it is saying that it is equivalent to a slash b dot truncate dot to int. Okay, so let's try by restarting the app. Oh sorry, we have to declare these methods as well. So we will go to our material buttons, and here for subtraction I will pass here do sub. Okay, we don't need this parenthesis here, and here I will say do mul, and here I will say do div. Okay, now let's restart the app again, and let's add two numbers, 15 and another one is 3. So let's plus, output is 18, let's minus, so output is 12, let's multiply, so output is 45, and let's divide, so output is 5. So this is in the positive scenario, in the positive, or we can say in the we know that how it will work, so we are just taking the only the positive responses. So let's do something different. Let's say it is 12 and the second one is 15. Let's add, so it will be 27. Let's minus, so it is showing minus 3. So we need to fix this because we are subtracting number 1 minus number 2, so that is why it is saying minus 3. Let's multiply, so it is 180, and let's divide, so it is 0 because 15 divided by 12 divided by 15 would be like 0 point something something, so that is why it is showing us this 0. So this is all about our calculator. We can also have a button beyond this, which can say, let's add another button. What it will do, you must be wondering. So new row, okay, and let's add a padding also before this row. Here I will have another button, this material button, which will say, wait a second, okay, so what it will say, it will say clear. Okay, so it basically do clear is a method which we will call, so it will clear all the two text fields. So let's make a method here, void clear do clear. Okay, and here what we will do, we will set state, and here we will set num1 to 0. Okay, and we will set num2 to 0 as well. Okay, so what it is doing, oh, basically we don't even need this as well. We can set t1.text is equal to 0, and we need to say t2.text is equal to 0. Okay, and this is cool, and this is cool. Okay, so this is what we need, and we can delete this. So let's perform this operation. Let's restart the app, and now, oh, this is not in the middle, so let's make it in the middle. So we can say main axis alignment dot center. That's cool. Let's restart the app, and this is now clear. So let's say this is 7, let's say this is 8. Now let's do it clear, and it is working fine. So this is what we have to do. We have a clear button, we have a plus button, we have a minus button, we have a cross, we have a divide, and there was an exception here. So it is saying integer division by 0 exception. So we can also perform try and catch there. So we can have still some problems, but this is the basic stuff which I just wanted to show how Flutter works. So that is why I made this video, just to give you a short demonstration that how it actually works. And this is a calculator, this is very basic calculator. You don't have to judge me on the basis of this calculator, or you don't have to judge yourself on the basis of this. This is just very easy, or we can say this is very, you know, amazing kind of stuff which we are seeing here. And let's do one more thing which I know that you don't want me to do, we will do it in the next video, so we don't have to do it right now. So we will enhance it, we will make it much better in maybe some other video. So what we can do now, we can go to the GitHub and we can check its source code if it is available. The link can be in the description, and you have to give it a star, you have to like this video, and you have to subscribe the channel so that I can make such awesome content for you. And I hope this can be an easy video for you to understand the basics of Flutter. And that's it guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care.